to Wallaton. It is time for another edition of Kitchen Science, where I get to share two of my favorite things, my kitchen and science. Yes, and today we are going to do something super fun. You want to know what we're going to do? We're going to make pepper dance. Let me tell you what you need. All right. Okay, so to make pepper dance, you will need a few things. Not surprisingly, one of them is pepper. Now, you don't need freshly ground pepper. I have ground some up because that's what I've got. I probably ground up about a half a teaspoon. You don't need more than a half a teaspoon. A quarter teaspoon is probably fine too. You're going to need a bowl or a pie plate. And then into that bowl or pie plate, you will put some water. So you'll need some of that. And as with, it seems like almost every experiment, you will need some dish soap. Indeed, yes, another dish soap one. And last but not least, I have a paperclip here that I'm going to use for this experiment. You could also use a toothpick, just something pokey with a tiny point at the end. All right, go gather some things and let's do some experimenting. Okay, it's time to make some pepper dance. First thing, we're going to put our water into our bowl. Okay, so, you want to fill it up so there's about an inch of water. It's, again, as you know, one of my favorite kind of experiments because it does not require super precision. So fill it up mostly with water. And then you will take your pepper, I've already grated it into this little bowl, and you're going to sprinkle that pepper all over the surface of the water. Okay, so you can see the pepper going all over the surface, right? Okay, so boy, this smells delicious. If you like pepper, this is going to be an experiment that you will love because this smells so peppery. Be careful not to sneeze. Okay, so you can see the surface is largely covered in pepper, right? You can see all that pepper kind of swirling around. Now you're going to take your paper clip, which in my case I have unbent so that it's got kind of a pointer end. And just for ease, I put a drop of dish soap into my tiny little bowl here. So I'm going to put a little drop of dish soap on the end of my paper clip, and then we're going to see what happens. Are you ready? Wow! Look at that. Can you see it? You can, can't you? It totally... The pepper is dancing. Yes, we are making that pepper move with the power of our dish soap, and you can just keep messing around with it and making it chunk up into different ways and make that pepper move. Now, you're not actually making it move by pushing it. It is the actual soap that is making the pepper move. Why is that? It's time for some science. Okay, it's time for some science. It's time for some science. It's time for some science today. Okay, today's science lesson is all about surface tension and hydrophobia. Yeah, those are some big terms, right? Hydrophobia is where we're going to start because when you put the pepper on top of the water, the reason it floats, you got to know that, right? I mean, that's the first part of this experiment. And it floats because it is hydrophobic. And what that means is that the water is not attracted to it. So like salt is just going to dissolve into the water, sugar is just going to dissolve. But the pepper, it just floats on top of the water because the water is not interested in it. And also, the water, the molecules of the water create what's called surface tension. And because the pepper flakes are so light and there's surface tension from the structure of the water molecules, the pepper just floats on top of the surface of the water. Well, then we introduce soap. And dish soap is a very scientifically interesting thing. It's called a surfactant. And what it does when we touch it to the surface of the peppery water is that it changes the structure of the water molecules, and it makes the water molecules run away from it because they want to maintain their integrity and run away from the soap. Well, and then the pepper's just kind of there on top of the water, and so it gets drifted along for the ride. So the pepper gets pushed to the outside as the water surface tension tries to maintain its integrity. So there you go. Go make some pepper dance, and I will see you in a few weeks.